What's going on, guys? Tanner back here bringing you another video. What I got for you guys today is we're going to be talking about how to get a faster mile and a half time on your Air Force PT test. I have a couple topics that I want to cover for those in there because a lot of you ask me how to, about your run times, how to get faster, if your run time's good enough. So I figured I'd make a video talking about how I personally got my fastest run time and the things I did, and hopefully they can help you too. But without further ado, let's get right into today's video. So number one on the list is going to be to run 4 to 5 days a week of long distance running. Now, a lot of people are going to try to just run a 1.5 miles every time they're practicing or they're out there doing cardio. You want to run longer than your 1.5 mile, because if you just train for a 1.5 mile, you're not going to be able to have that extra endurance to be able to push yourself a little harder. I always trained, on a day where I'm not running as hard, I'd try to just be able to run a 2 mile in the amount of time it takes, some people to run a 1.5. If you can run a 2 mile in under 13:36, you're easily going to pass that PT test. But for long distance days, 4 to 5 days a week, I recommend 3 to 5 miles a day. I know this is going to be hard for a lot of you because you can't really run 1.5 miles, but you need to start working towards that. You need to start putting in that extra time. Whether or not you run 2 miles in the morning, 2 at night, and you do 4 for the day, that's better than not doing anything at all. But you need to have 4 to 5 long distance days, and this is a proven fact that running long distance 4 to 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, helps you in the long run for your endurance and making sure that you are going to be good to go for a PT test. Number 2 is going to be to work on your explosive movements, whether that be sprints, box jumps, whether you do scissor lunges where you're in a lunge and you jump and you switch and you jump and you switch and you jump and you switch like that, and you're just working on getting your lower half of your body's fast twitch muscle fibers more activated and used to having those explosive movements. You're going to be sprinting pretty much the entire last lap. You're going to be in a sprint pretty much the whole time you're running the mile and a half. And you should be sprinting the whole time you're pretty much doing the mile and a half. You want to be able to get a fast time, and you should be in shape to run that, mile and a half in 11 minutes max. You want to be below 11, in my opinion, to have a good run time. And some of you guys are going to struggle to get there, but if you put in the work, you can get there. I left basic with an 11:56, and I ran a 10:30 at tech school. I cut 1 minute and 20 seconds off my time, and I'm not the greatest runner. But I put in the extra work, like I'm saying, and it definitely helped. But fast twitch muscle fibers are going to help you drastically, so work on explosive movements that will help you with that. Number 3 is going to be to incorporate sprints into the beginning of your workout or at the end, whichever you want. I like to do them at the beginning to get my blood flowing, my muscles going. I'd start with about 10 to 12 50-meter sprints, so I'd sprint there, jog back, sprint there, jog back, sprint there, jog back, so on and so forth until I got to about 10 or 12. Then I'd stretch out my quads and my hamstrings a little bit, and then I would do my 3 to 5 mile run to get my cardio in for that day. So definitely incorporate sprints at the beginning or at the end of your workout, whichever you prefer. I would recommend at the beginning of the workout. Number 4 is a massive one for me specifically, and I know a lot of people, a lot of my family and friends who have been long distance runners. Working and focusing on your breathing is one of the most important things. If you can't control your breathing, you're automatically out of the race. You're automatically out. If you cannot control your breathing patterns, it's really hard to be able to continue running. A lot of people cramp up. A lot of people run out of, they run out of breath. They're out of oxygen. They can't keep going because they don't focus on their breathing. I always like to do it like on every fourth left foot or third left foot, I breathe out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on that fourth, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in that whole time, and then the fourth, I'm breathing out. And it allows me to focus my breathing so I know it's in a pattern. It's always going to be in the same pattern, and it keeps a fluid motion for you to know that breath, breath, breath. And your body's going to get used to it, and it's going to be able to function a lot better. It's going to be a lot better than you going when you're running, because you're exhausting yourself quicker. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth while you run. You want to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose for as long as you can, but then breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and try to find a rhythm for you to breathe out on. Number 5 is going to be to run outside and not use a treadmill. Running outside is completely different than using a treadmill. I'm able to go and run a 6-minute mile on a treadmill, and I cannot run a 6-minute mile on a track. I can't. Your body does a lot less work on a treadmill than on an actual track. A treadmill helps propel you because it's moving and stuff. It's going to help propel you faster than when you're on a track. Your body has to do so much more when you're outside than when you're on a piece of equipment. So I highly recommend that you run outside and not on a treadmill. If you can only get on a treadmill, which wouldn't make much sense as to why you can only run on a treadmill and not outside, but try to run outside as much as possible, especially since you're going into basic. A lot of people are worried about shin splints. A lot of people get shin splints because they don't run before they get there, and all your PT run days are done on cement, and they get there and their knees hurt and their shins hurt because they're not used to running. So definitely try to run outside as often as you can. Limit treadmill use to pretty much none if possible. Number 6, eating a healthy diet. You need a healthy diet to help improve your run time. If you're eating McDonald's after you go and run, even if you're in a caloric deficit, your body is not going to be getting the proper nutrients it needs to be able to progress itself and get into a better state of being a better athlete. You need to have a healthier diet, be eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, cut out all those extra sugary drinks. One of the biggest things that people don't understand is how much sugar and bullshit you're putting in your body just by drinking normal soda and normal energy drinks. Some of them might taste better, but just dropping to a 0 drink of some sort, that alone is going to help you out drastically. You're cutting out so many grams of sugar, extra calories, and a lot of people don't even realize how many calories they drink a day of juice, soda, energy drinks, whatever it may be, and it really adds up. But you cut those out of your diet alone and you just add in more salads and stuff like that, more green leafy vegetables and things like that, it drastically does help your run time. It's proven that it helps your run time if you have a healthier diet. So try to have a healthy diet while you're doing these things because it's going to help you in the long run be more efficient and use your body to the best of its abilities and capabilities while you're running your 1.5 miles. And last but not least, be consistent. Consistency is one of the biggest things when it comes to this. If you only run your long distance, you do this for like 2 weeks and you stop and you're like, oh, I'm good to go for my PT test, and you don't run for a month, that's going to bite you in the ass. A lot of the problems people have is they don't train before they have a PT test. Running is the hardest part of the PT test. It is the longest duration of exercise you have while on your PT test. Your PT test, your run accounts for 60% of your overall score. 60 points on a max end. You need to be training for this. If you're not consistent on your running, you're going to struggle even more, and it's going to make it harder for you to finish that run. Like I said, 4 to 5 days a week, doing your explosive movements, eating healthy, training as often as you can. It's going to help out, but if you're going to do this for 2 weeks and then stop, and then you do it for like a week and then you stop and then you have a PT test, don't expect you to go out there and run your best 1.5 miles because you're not training for it. I recommend stopping the day before you train or the day before you have a PT test. I don't run ever. I don't work out ever. And usually 2 days before, I will do like a slight workout, like I'll do a mile or a 1/2 mile and, like 25 to 30 push-ups, 25 to 30 sit-ups just to keep my body there. But the day before, don't train. Running the day before a PT test, I really don't recommend it. But you need to stay consistent. But if you follow these tips right here, these 7 tips, it'll drastically help your 1.5 mile time go from, say it's at a 12.5 to probably an 11. Because a lot of you probably aren't running as often as you should. But if you did enjoy the video, please smash the like button, leave a comment of what you want to see next, about what you thought of the video, anything that you have questions about, leave them there. Subscribe if you are new, turn on the post notification bell to know when we post a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, I love you all, stay safe, and have a great day.
I got a feeling you niggas don't like me. I'm talking vacation, this shit can get pricey. They know I'm the greatest, my nigga, that's Psyche. I do it, just do it like Nike. Needed some help, she started twerking. She said that it's mine if I go put the work in. I secured the bag and I bought her a Birkin. No, I can't swim, so I drown in the ocean. This is the mask, I'm doing the